Hi, my name is Adisha Zoom, and I'm a dietetic intern at the USC Workwell Center. This is going to be a presentation looking at how to eat to support heart health and how the Mediterranean diet principles can be applied and modified to achieve this based on cultural and personal preferences. So I'll start by explaining how cardiovascular health can be impacted by the diet, taking a look at what types of food can increase and lower the risk of heart disease. I'll then explain what the Mediterranean diet is, giving examples of what are foods that would traditionally belong to this diet, as well as examples of how to modify these based on personal or cultural preferences. Next, I'll give some examples of recipes that follow the Mediterranean eating pattern. And lastly, I'll provide some tips on how to add more heart healthy fats and more plant based foods like vegetables, fruits, and legumes into the diet. So, in this first section, we will look at how diet impacts heart health, specifically how certain foods can either increase or decrease cardiovascular disease risk. So on this slide, there's a breakdown of different foods that can increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. The first group is saturated fats. Consuming a lot of saturated fats can increase LDL, otherwise known as bad cholesterol, levels in the body. Some examples of foods with high levels of saturated fat are fried foods like French fries, butter, beef, and cheese. The next group is trans fats. Trans fats are, most of them are artificially made and are found in shortening and margarine. These are often in commercial baked goods like biscuits. And on the food label, trans fats could be labeled as hydrogenated oil or partially hydrogenated oil. Lastly, high sodium foods can increase heart disease risk as well. Eating a diet high in sodium can lead to hypertension, which is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. And common foods that have high levels of sodium are processed meats like lunch meats, frozen meals, canned foods with added salt, and restaurant meals. So here are foods that can decrease the risk of cardiovascular disease. Soluble fiber can help by binding cholesterol in the intestine, which reduces the absorption of cholesterol into the body. Some fruits with high amounts of soluble fiber are strawberries, blueberries, bananas, raspberries, and blackberries. Some vegetables with high amounts of soluble fiber include broccoli, turnips, carrots, and Brussels sprouts. Legumes like beans and also oats are also good sources of soluble fiber. Monounsaturated fats help reduce cardiovascular disease also, and they do this by lowering LDL, or once again, bad cholesterol, which levels in the body. Some sources of monounsaturated fats include extra virgin olive oil, avocado, olives, and almonds. Polyunsaturated fats, similar to monounsaturated fats, can reduce LDL cholesterol levels as well. Omega-3 fatty acids are one type of polyunsaturated fat that also support cardiovascular health further through their anti-inflammatory properties. And salmon is a great source of omega-3 fatty acids, and walnuts and flax seeds are other sources of polyunsaturated fats. So now we will look at what the Mediterranean diet is. Overall, the Mediterranean diet is filled with healthy fats, legumes as plant-based proteins, whole grains, plenty of vegetables and fruits, and then dairy and meat in moderation. And so I'm going to provide some examples of what traditional foods are eaten with this diet pattern and some ideas on how to modify based on personal or cultural preferences. So the Mediterranean diet is high in healthy fats like monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat. Traditionally, these fats come from extra virgin olive oil, olives, fish, and nuts. However, this can be modified based on preference. So avocado and sesame oil are both alternative options for healthy fat sources. And legumes make up a large part of the Mediterranean diet as well, providing plant-based proteins. So traditionally, these legumes have included chickpeas, lentils, beans, and peas. And now soybeans and or tofu are another legume source that could be added onto this diet pattern. there's a lot of flexibility in the legume category as any bean type really can be used. So whole grains are also a major part of the Mediterranean diet. Traditionally, these grains included bulgur wheat, farro, barley, buckwheat, and millet. But these are just a few to name a few. However, brown rice, quinoa, whole grain bread, and whole wheat pasta are excellent alternatives that offer the same health benefits. So the vegetable category of the Mediterranean diet is very flexible. Any vegetable that you like can pretty much be used. And a tip to getting the most nutritious value out of this category is to eat the rainbow. This means eating vegetables in every color, as every color offers different nutrients. So just some ideas for consideration for veggies are carrots, broccoli, bok choy, radish, lettuce, spinach, arugula, bell peppers, zucchini, eggplant, cabbage, and of course there's more. And vegetables can be fresh or frozen. If buying canned vegetables, to make sure just the sodium levels aren't too high, you can rinse the vegetables in just some water. So the fruit category of the Mediterranean diet is also very flexible. Similar to vegetables, eating fruits with a wide variety of colors can help to get as many nutrients as possible from different fruits. So some examples of fruit are strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, bananas, apples, pears, mangoes, pineapple, oranges, and pomegranate. And of course, there's more. Fruit can be fresh, frozen, freeze-dried, or even dried. Just the only thing is dried fruit often has added sugar, so just need to be mindful to read the food label and to consider portion size. And lastly, the Mediterranean diet pattern involves small amounts of dairy and meat. So when choosing a dairy, it is beneficial to choose low-fat options when possible and to eat fermented dairy such as yogurt and kefir. Cheese can be eaten in small amounts as well. If watching heart health, trying to find reduced fat cheese options could be helpful. If choosing to eat meat, some lean meat options include chicken and turkey. And fish can also be eaten with the Mediterranean diet, and it is recommended to have fish 2 to 3 times per week. Fish have lots of polyunsaturated fat that support heart health. So now that we have discussed the principles of the Mediterranean diet and how to modify based on preferences, here are some heart-healthy recipes following these principles. So for fish eaters, this is a recipe for baked salmon with lemon, garlic, and dill. And as mentioned previously, salmon is a great source of heart-healthy and anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. This baked salmon can be served along with a salad and a whole grain for a delicious and heart-healthy meal. And this couscous salad is a veggie option for a meal that follows the Mediterranean eating pattern. The whole grain couscous and vegetables provide plenty of fiber, and the extra virgin olive oil is a great source of monounsaturated fat, healthy for the heart. And additionally, the pistachios add both mono and polyunsaturated fats to this dish. And this guacamole recipe is perfect for a heart-healthy snack or to add as a topping on a dish. And avocados are filled with soluble fiber and healthy monounsaturated fat. And this guacamole recipe is a great example for a non-Mediterranean food that follows the principles of the Mediterranean eating pattern. And then lastly, this is a dessert recipe for tahini chocolate chip cookies. This recipe is a modified cookie recipe in which butter is replaced with tahini. This swap creates a rich, nutty flavor to the cookies while also supporting heart health. Tahini is made from sesame seeds and is high in both heart-healthy mono and polyunsaturated fats. These cookies also incorporate chocolate chips that are 70% dark chocolate, which has strong anti-inflammatory properties. So now that we have looked at how to eat to support heart health and how the Mediterranean diet can act as a guide for making these food choices, here are some additional tips. First, we will look at tips for adding healthy fats to the diet. So the first tip is to use cooking oils that are filled with healthy fats. And some examples of these are extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and sesame oil. Another tip is to make your own salad dressings at home. And two easy dressings to try are one, olive oil with lemon juice, or two, olive oil with apple cider vinegar. Additionally, adding crushed nuts on top of salads and soups can be another way to eat more healthy fats. Adding avocado in place of butter or mayo when making a toast or sandwich can help as well. Adding olives in salads or to snacks is another tip. Lastly, using 70% or higher dark chocolate in desserts can be a healthier alternative to milk chocolate. So now here are some tips for adding more plant-based foods into the diet. Adding fruit to breakfast can be a great way to start the day with some extra fiber and vitamins. Keeping frozen vegetables in the freezer can be a quick and easy way to have vegetables available to quickly microwave and add to any dish. Adding extra veggies to sandwiches can also help squeeze in some more vegetables throughout the day. Making a side salad for dinner can help get multiple servings of vegetables in one sitting. Also, trying a stir fry recipe with at least 3 different vegetables and tofu can help get multiple veggie servings and a plant based protein in one dish. Adding leftover vegetables to a sandwich or bowl can help reduce food waste and make use of vegetables that are on hand. Making a fruit smoothie could help get multiple fruit servings in one drink. Adding beans to tacos and rice bowls can add a nice plant-based protein to the meal. And lastly, adding beans, lentils, and peas to soups can also be a great way to enjoy more plant-based proteins. Here are just some additional resources for planning heart-healthy meals and for some more recipe inspiration following the Mediterranean diet. Additionally, the 4 recipes we went over today are available as recipe videos on the USC Workwell YouTube channel. So just to wrap up, I wanted to ask, what is something you learned today that you would like to try out to support your heart health? You can feel free to comment below on this video and answer whatever you'd like to try out. And thank you so much for your time today.